words, because everybody knows their loved ones, how they talk, certain words they use, certain little sayings, and turn of phrase. And she says, whoever's doing this with the email is not my sister, as well as their parents. Their mother and father were saying the same thing, and I felt really bad for them all crying, but especially for their father because he seemed like a very proud individual. And it takes a lot for a man to cry. And when he started to break down and how helpless they all are, I was like, wow, this is really messed up. Um, she at some point will know that it goes on, and it basically ends there. She at some point will know that we're all done all of this because we love her unconditionally and would do anything for her, she added. And I know she will know that at some point. I think they hoped, and they said in the docu-series, is that once things started to fall apart and they had all of these women coming forward saying that this pastor had basically molested them, sexually assaulted them, that they were hoping that she would finally kind of see into who this individual really was, that whatever he was portraying himself to be, in and he did publicly within that church explain himself and ask for forgiveness. But I mean, it was an insane amount of women. And then the sad part is, after he did that, and how touched everybody's that believed him, that he was, being vulnerable, he just went right back right after that. Like right after that, he started soliciting more action. That's not someone that is really sorry, okay? And that's where it came in with this. This is what I didn't add in the first episode. Uh, the two sisters, the oldest being Priscilla, was saying that she was approached by him. Um, and it turned epic. It got to the point where she was physically sick. She kept doing it because of the control that he had over her. And then there was this big confrontation by his wife. And his wife physically assaulted her because she was mad, because he was spending too much time um, with the massages, and the other stuff. So the wife actually felt threatened by her because he kept coming and spending time with her. It became really, this is sick. No. All right. So I found some information on CNN, and this article is also about, of course, about this particular docu-series, Dancing for the Devil. Okay, which if I said Dancing with the Devil, that is incorrect. It's Dancing for the Devil. So this actually addresses the two sisters that I talked about, two sets of sisters, two twins, okay, as well as the two sisters that were immigrants from Korea, I believe, Melanie Lee as well as Priscilla Lee. And the latter two joined Shekinah as young immigrants, like I said, in 1999, when their mother moved to this country. I want to say they addressed that the father as well. I can't remember if the father came with them and then he left, or he didn't accompany them on their immigration here to the U.S. But basically, he abandoned them first, sadly, and then the mother really was grappling and with some issues, and that's how she got into extreme gambling as well as drinking, becoming an alcoholic, and that's what left them quite open and very vulnerable pretty early on, okay, to this church and to the people that are connected to it. So they're saying this particular article from CNN is that they became dependent, like I said, for housing and work, okay. Priscilla has since changed her last name to, it's still Lee, but it's changed, the spelling is changed from Lee to Ligh. So anyway, they lost contact for years when Melanie left the church with the help of a friend that she made when she was back in high school. She reconnected with this gentleman, and he actually helped her escape. It's so sad because I believe that by this time, um, she had also been um, approached by the pastor Robert Shen in order to not sleep with him, but sleep with someone else, um, as well as the sister was. So oh wow, it was a mess. So anyway, in spite of everything, the older sister ended up staying. Okay, but at some point she did liberate herself from it. So it says, for Melanie Lee to come forward, I'm just so appreciative of her strength and trust in us, said the documentary's executive producer, explaining that she was initially weary. She expressed that she has her sister still in there and she feared for her. Over the course of production, Priscilla left Shekinah. So this shows that even though they had started doing the docuseries or documentary, the older sister stayed there in spite of everything. And it got to the point where Priscilla, being approached by the pastor and then finding herself in this dealings, I don't want to call it a relationship with him, really impacted her mentally, um, spiritually, and physically, where she was getting physically sick, but she just continued to do it. And then the confrontation that happened with the wife, and it got to the point, even before that happened, it was that she had just kind of went into herself, and she said she stayed in her room a lot. Oh wow. So anyway, it says the Shin family and the Derricks did not participate in the docuseries. Yeah, they said that. Though Miranda has stated on social media that she is not in a cult. Then it says B Dash describes 7M as a secular, for-profit company run by people who have faith in God. Okay. In his own statement, it is their job to manage, control our bookings or schedules. That is not a cult activity, and it is called doing business. So there are a lot of people that, like I said, that are still there, and whatnot. They also show for these particular sisters, Priscilla and Melanie Lee, that the one that got out first, which was the youngest, Melanie, said that once she got out and she had her daughter, she got married, she had her daughter, she always made sure that wherever they stayed, they picked a place where there would be a spare room, because she was always hoping and looking forward to her sister getting out, finally seeing the light, or having the courage enough to leave this particular church, and she wanted her to be with her and her family. And then they showed a situation in which Melanie's daughter, I forgot how old her daughter is, but she's still very young, had a birthday, and she invited her sister Priscilla. And her sister Priscilla did come, but she came late. And she sat down with her, and she was talking to her sister. And her sister, they had a very volatile moment in which the sister was basically bringing it to her attention again that they had just came out of a what? A cult, okay, that she was also a part of, okay, at one point, but she stayed. And that it really, and then the trauma that they had sustained from their broken family, their biological family, she's not normal. She basically said that I'm not normal and I'm struggling, and I hear what you're saying, and I love you and I love my niece, but I'm having some issues and it's not getting any better for me. She spoke of wanting to end her life. So I was just like, oh my God. So then they showed her asking for space, but letting it be known that she loved her sister. And I think what she did is that she went back to Korea and she found her biological father. And she basically told him how she felt. And usually in those situations, the other person wants to kind of smooth it over, okay, because they have their own, I don't know, but I think that the father has his own trauma, and he doesn't know necessarily how to beat